Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Halliwell-Jones Stadium in Warrington as the Rhinos look to bounce back from defeat against the Wigan Warriors on Tuesday night as they take on the Wolves in this Engage Super League 12 Round 10 clash. The lineups this afternoon starting first with an injury-ravaged Warrington side who line up with Stuart Reardon at fullback, Henry Farfili, Martin Gleeson, Brent Gross and Richie Barnett in the three quarters. Halfbacks Vinnie Anderson and John Clark. Up front for the Wolves, the captain Paul Rauhihi, Mark Gleeson and Andy Braycheck. Second row is Ben Westwood and Mike Wainwright, and Ben Harrison in jumper 22 locks the scrum. On the bench for the Wolves, Chris Wiley, a debut for Anthony Duram, Mike Cooper and Steve Pickersgill. The Rhinos lineup does show some changes from the defeat on Tuesday night, most notably Lee Smith coming into the team. They line up with Brent Webb at fullback, Scott Donald, Ashley Gibson, Keith Senior and Lee Smith. Halfbacks Danny Maguire and Rob Burrow. Up front Jamie Peacock, Matt Diskin and Ryan Bailey. The second rows Jamie Jones Buchanan and Gareth Ellis, and the captain Kevin Sinfield locks the scrum in jumper 13. On the bench for the Rhinos, Jamie Thackeray, Ian Kirk, Clinton Tupy and Kylie Luluai. The referee is Ben Thaler. Stick with us, we'll be back with all the action in a moment. And good afternoon, welcome. It's game time here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium, Engage Super League 12. We're at the round 10 stage, Leeds of course, as we said earlier, looking to bounce back from the defeat against Wigan on Tuesday night. Leeds this first half will be attacking the eastern end of the ground, the seated end of the ground, with their fans congregated in the west stand behind the post. It looks like it is going to be the Wolves who are going to get us underway through John Clark. They are missing so many people. Just off the top of my head I can think of Adrian Morley, Paul Johnson, Lee Breers, Chris Bridge, and there's many more as well. They've got a lot of young kids in the team. Just compare the two benches. They have 4 academy players on the bench, and Leeds have got Clinton Tupy, who's a New Zealand international, Jamie Thackeray, who's played for Great Britain, Ian Kirk and Kylie Luluai. Ben Thaler, resplendent in the Engage pink, is the match official, and we are almost ready for getting underway. We've kicked off late again, which is another one of your pet hates, Russ. Here's another ball. Who's run when I'm on with that? Oh, that's Charlie Nielsen, who refereed the senior academy game earlier over at Wilderspool, which was won by the Rhinos by 70 points to 20, a 30-point push. 10 minutes into the second half, sealing victory for there, and also a return to Danny Williams in that game. We're almost ready and we're underway. It's John Clark with the opening kickoff, aiming for the post. It's hit the post and it will bounce for Peacock, and Peacock just about gets out of the in goal. This is the back end of a busy Easter period, but Leeds have had the best of it through breaks. They've had 5 days between each game. Warrington were defeated here on Monday by Huddersfield by 26 points to 18. It's a 0 tackle. That ball was ripped out. Sinfield at dummy half will go on his own and just settle things down. Leeds today playing away from home in the white strip. Not a bad call considering it is steaming down at pitch side. It's well over 20 degrees and maybe summer has finally arrived in the UK as Burrow gets out of dummy half. Leeds of course haven't had the best of times here. They've lost on their last 2 visits when firstly an Andrew Johns inspired performance gave the Wolves victory before being belted here on Bank Holiday Monday last year as Sinfield offloads to Diskin, who gets it off for Ellis, and Leeds are just short of halfway. Last tackle for the Rhinos, short side for Maguire for Gibson. Gibson out the back door for Smith, and Smith's knocked on, and Leeds will turn the ball over just this side of halfway. And it'll be Paul Rauhihi to play the ball. Finds Gleeson on for Wainwright, and Wainwright met by a strong challenge from Jamie Peacock. Mark Gleeson at dummy half, finds Andy Braycheck. He's been out on loan at Widnes, had a month there and come back as the same for the loose forward Ben Harrison. It's Gleeson at dummy half, goes up, has no options, and is forced to take the tackle. Clark at dummy half finds Rahihi, who destroyed the Rhinos here last season with his powerful running. And the Wolves 35 away in centre field. Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark, back for Wainwright again. Wainwright's pass, it's been knocked down by Jamie Jones Buchanan, and Warrington will get the repeat and a scrum. Wonder if we're going to have a drinks break today after 20 minutes. It is absolutely steaming. As Clark will feed the scrum from the base. Finds Vinnie Anderson, who arrived in a £50,000 deal over the summer as the international colleagues Senior and Gleeson go up against each other, and he's got it out for Vinnie Anderson. Of course, Vinnie's brother Louis will be here next season. Gleeson at dummy half finds Ben Harrison. Gleeson again at dummy half, out for John Clark. Clark finds Reardon, and Reardon looks to put the step on, and it's taken with a good challenge from Gareth Ellis. Clark again at dummy half, tries the near side, and Wainwright's dropped it backwards, and it's Brent Webb who's got on the ball, and Leeds survive, and that's good work. No, it's not, it's a penalty. Mike Wainwright ruled not square for the tackle on Lee Smith, and Leeds will get a chance to clear the lines with the first penalty of the afternoon. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the kick to the south stand touchline, and Leeds will start just over halfway. It's a good kick that from Kevin Sinfield as Burrow gets us back underway, finds Jamie Peacock, who's had an immense Easter for the Rhinos. Peacock has got it out for Diskin. Diskin's pass is going to bounce on the floor for Webb, and Webb is wrapped up by Vinnie Anderson. Maguire at dummy half finds Sinfield. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan on for Senior, and Keith Senior's pass has gone into touch, and is he going to rule it's come off a Warrington hand? No, he's not, and Keith Senior starts the game on Sunday. Has he finished it on Tuesday night? And Leeds again cough possession up cheaply. Clark will feed the scrum. It's been held in the scrum from the base. Finds Clark. It was Anderson to Clark that time. Bit of chopping and changing as Reardon at dummy half finds Wainwright. Wainwright turns in the challenge, just couldn't find the offload. Gleeson at dummy half, back for Rahihi. And again a good powerful run from Paul Rahihi. Gleeson at dummy half, looking for the options, and again it's a good run from Mark Gleeson. Wolves come this near side. Clark looks to change the direction but sticks hold, and he's lost it backwards. Has put a little kick on for Reardon. Reardon's knocked it on, and that's going to be a scrum down for Leeds. It's been a frantic start to proceedings here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. Both teams coming up with errors early doors. As Burrow feeds the scrum, Sinfield from the base finds Ashley Gibson, who's in the centre position today. Senior at dummy half will go on his own, and this time sticks hold and just gets over the 20, and Diskin now cops a strong one from Michael Wainwright, whose marker work was superb there. Brent Webb at dummy half comes this near side for Peacock, who's already managed one offload this afternoon, and gets to his feet quickly for the play the ball. Here's Burrow. Burrow looking to get on the outside of Anderson, does, finds Jamie Jones Buchanan, who will straighten up but falls into the challenge of Gleeson and Anderson. Last tackle for the Rhinos. They are just short of halfway. Sinfield looks up inside the 40. He's going for the 40-20. Has he got the bounce? No, it's held up. Had the backspin on instead of the forward spin, and Reardon fields just inside the 20, and it's a good chase from Senior and Jones Buchanan. Gleeson at dummy half finds Henry Farfeely. Mark Gleeson again at dummy half finds John Clark out for Wainwright, and it's been popped out the back door by Wainwright, picked up by Braychek, out for Richie Barnett, and Richie Barnett spots a little gap. That's play on, but Peacock will wrap up the tackle. Gleeson at dummy half looks the short side and looks for Braychek. Mark Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark, and Clark is going to put boot to ball. It's a good kick, but Brent Webb has covered an acre of space to get under that and looks up. Not the best chase from the Wolves, and Brent Webb will get back to the 20-metre line. Here is Burrow at dummy half, finds Scott Donald. Lee Smith infield to help up the forwards. Gets away from Wainwright but straightens up into Ben Harrison, and Smith's been lifted in the tackle and dumped to ground just in front of the 20. Diskin finds Peacock. Peacock has lost the ball forwards, and that's going to be play on eventually. No, Clark's dropped it. We're going to go for the first knock on, and Leeds have coughed possession up again, and again it's cheap, but this time it's deep inside their own half as the Warrington crowd below us look to get behind their crowd. Clark will feed the scrum from the base, finds Anderson, and Anderson taken by Jamie Jones Buchanan. Wolves fans saying it was high, and Anderson refusing to go to ground. He does eventually. Gleeson at dummy half goes on his own, gets the Wolves 15 away from the line. Reardon now, here's Rahihi on the charge. Rahihi for the line, and Rahihi's going to be held up a couple of metres short. Gleeson at dummy half finds Westwood, and Westwood for the line is short. Martin Gleeson at dummy half finds Vinnie Anderson, long floated pass for Clark, and Clark swamped, and somebody needs to get on it. They have done. He's going to go for the first knock on. It's against Warrington, and Leeds should get the head and feed here. They have. And this scrum packed down on the Rhinos 20. Burrow will feed. Sinfield from the base finds Brent Webb, and Webb looking to step away from Stuart Reardon there. Maguire at dummy half finds Senior, and Senior, good strong run, gets to just short of the 40. Diskin at dummy half goes on his own, decides to stick hold where he's met by Ben Westwood. Burrow at dummy half finds Peacock, shouts a forward below us, but didn't seem to be a lot in it from up on high. Burrow at dummy half steps Rahihi. Burrow with the offload for Webb, and Brent Webb's got it out, but it's fallen into a Warrington hand, and that's going to be play on. Danny Maguire just not getting to the ball, and here's Wainwright as Warrington look to counter-attack. Richie Barnett on this near wing screaming for the football. Clark at dummy half finds Reardon, and Reardon cuts infield where he's taken by Bailey and Ellis. Gleeson at dummy half, out for Andy Braycheck. Mark Gleeson at dummy half finds Ben Westwood, and Westwood looks to get on the outside where he cops a heavy one from Maguire. Last tackle, it's with Vinnie Anderson, and Anderson is going to go high, looking to test Lee Smith, and Smith is safe underneath the high ball and looks up and is met by John Clark. 10 minutes on the watch here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, still awaiting the first point of the afternoon as Scott Donald goes from dummy half. Gibson at dummy half finds Ryan Bailey. And it seems every time a Leeds player passes from dummy half, the shout is forward as Diskin finds Sinfield, who's outside the 40. And this ball is going to unfortunately go touching goal, and the Wolves will come back to the 20. And already you can tell this heat is affecting the players. Michael Wainwright really struggling to get back there as Richie Barnett takes it in for the Warrington Wolves. Mark Gleeson at dummy half finds Farfili, who was rumoured at one stage today to be turning out at standoff. Here's Mark Gleeson again, gets out from dummy half. Good work from the younger of the Gleeson brothers. Anderson at dummy half finds Rahihi with the offload, not the best, and it's picked up by Ashley Gibson, and Gibson will go to ground, and Leeds start in Warrington territory for the first time this afternoon as Diskin finds Ellis. Ellis looked to be caught a little high by Mike Wainwright, and Ben Thaler will give the penalty. It was clumsy more than anything, and Ben Thaler acknowledges that by giving Mike Wainwright a little tap on the back as Burrow puts the ball over sideline. Leeds will start just short of the 20 with Burrow. Finds Jamie Peacock, and Peacock away from the first challenge but not the second one of Clark and Gross. Disking at dummy half, has time to run, flings it out for Maguire. Maguire looking for the gap, is taken by Vinnie Anderson. Sinfield at dummy half, finds Webb out for Senior. Senior up against Gleeson, and Gleeson and Farfeely bring him to ground 5 metres away from the line. Donald at dummy half, finds Sinfield out for Maguire. Maguire back for Webb. Webb out for Ellis. Ellis finds Peacock, who was taking a breather. Here's Ashley Gibson. Gibson looking to get on the outside but goes to ground 10 metres away from the line. Lee Smith at dummy half, finds Rob Burrow. Burrow dabs a little kick through looking for Maguire. It's come out. Oh, did really well to hang on to that. And it was Vinnie Anderson who saved the day for the Wolves. Reardon at dummy half will go on his own, and Leeds now look to put a big set on us. The home crowd cry out for a penalty as Gleeson finds Westwood. Gleeson again at dummy half, goes on his own and gets the Wolves to just short of the 30. Here's his brother Mark out for Ben Harrison, and it's last tackle for the Wolves there on the 40s. Gleeson finds Anderson, and Anderson puts boots a ball, and it's going to split Webb and Smith, and it's going to be Lee Smith who will field on the 10 metre line. And Smith looks up, and safety first just runs back at Clark and Harrison. Webb at dummy half, finds Scott Donald, who's come in off the wing to give the forwards a bit of a breather. Webb at dummy half, finds Sinfield. Sinfield with the dummy, but doesn't fool young Ben Harrison. Webb at dummy half, finds Ryan Bailey, and Bailey met by a good challenge again from Mike Wainwright. Last tackle for the Rhinos, just short of the 40s. Burrow looks up, looks to get round Westwood, and eventually puts the kick in. It's a good kick. It's fielded by Reardon just inside the 20. How good's the chase? It's Rob Burrow leading the way, and a super tackle from the scrum half. Warrington looking to make their first change of the game as Gleeson finds Henry Farfeely out for Richie Barnett, and Barnett's got away out for Brent Gross. Gross looking to fend off Lee Smith. He's fended him off twice, and Brent Gross, good run from Brent Gross, but it's Gareth Ellis with the defence. Farfeely at dummy half will go on his own, pops it out for Barnett, out for Harrison, and Harrison eventually taken to ground just inside the 20. Steve Pickersgill has come on for Paul Rowe. He has Mark Gleeson, looks to break the Rhinos line. Clark at dummy half. Clark still going out for Gleeson, and they're in at the corner. First try of the game, 15 minutes on the clock, and it's Ben Westwood who's got on the board. All came from the earlier break from Brent Gross. Caught the Rhinos defence on the hop. Warrington just going down the short side. It was Clark who found Gleeson, and Gleeson put Ben Westwood in at the corner. And in the absence of Chris Bridge and Lee Breers, the kicking duties fall to Ben Westwood to attempt to convert his own try. Here is Westwood, kicks on its way. This has got chances, and Ben Westwood has nailed the conversion from the sideline. 17 minutes on the clock here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Engage Super League 12, round 10. It's Warrington Wolves 6, Leeds Rhinos 0. And Kevin Sinfield gets us back underway after the try and goal from Ben Westwood. Clark fields and tips it back in for Richie Barnett, and with the Wolves having the side out they have, that's just going to give him every confidence as Clark finds Braycheck. Clark at dummy half finds Reardon. Gleeson at dummy half finds Pickersgill. Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark, and Clark's kick's going to go straight down the throat of Brent Webb, just inside the 20, and Webb looks up looking for a gap, but it's a good determined chase from the home side. Leeds are looking to make a change. Sinfield at dummy half finds Keith Senior. Ryan Bailey is making his way to sideline, and it's going to be Jamie Thackeray that will come on. Diskin at dummy half finds Peacock. Diskin at dummy half finds Jamie Thackeray, who's just come onto the field, and he gets to just short of the 40. Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire back for Ellis, and Ellis sticks the shoulder in on Pickersgill, but he's eventually wrapped up. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Diskin finds Burrow out for Sinfield, and Sinfield dabs the little kick in behind. This is going to sit up, and Farfili is forced to field just in front of the goal line, where he's met by Rob Burrow. And that's going to be a penalty against Rob Burrow. He's had a second grab at Henry Farfili, and that's not what the Rhinos want to be doing. And it's going to be Vinnie Anderson with the touchline clearer into the north stand, and Warrington will begin 25 away from their own line, with Martin Gleeson finds the try scorer Westwood. Mark Gleeson at dummy half out for Andy Braycheck. Gleeson again at dummy half. Wolves looking to go from deep. Mike Wainwright's taken the head guard off, so it must be pretty warm out there for him to do that. Vinnie Anderson will kick out a dummy half on the third tackle, and that's going to go over the sideline, and we're going to pack a scrum down. And are we going to have a drinks break? And we are going to have a drinks break. Ben Thaler has stuck the hands up in the air, and Ben Thaler's called for a drinks break. And it's been a good opening 20 minutes for the Warrington Wolves. They've showed great resilience and tenacity in this game so far, and probably deserve their 6 points on the board so far. Conditions are warm. It is sensible for this to happen here this afternoon. Even Roy Adams is on with the water bottles here. And Ben Thaler wants to get the game back underway. He's screaming at Roy Adams to get back off. And we'll call time back on. Sinfield finds Senior from the base of the scrum. Maguire at dummy half finds Gareth Ellis. Burrow at dummy half finds Jamie Thackeray, who's got the leg heavily strapped up as well. Diskin at dummy half finds Peacock. That one probably did look forward from Diskin. And here he is, Diskin at dummy half, looking for the runners, gets Thackeray back on the inside for Brent Webb. Last tackle for the Rhinos is Sinfield again, goes high, it's not gone far. Who's under it? Jamie Jones Buchanan has knocked it on, and it's going to be a turnover, and Warrington will get the ball back. Gleeson at dummy half finds Brent Gross, who's in off the wing helping out. Gleeson again at dummy half finds Andy Braycheck, who's been a strong, powerful runner so far. Gleeson again at dummy half gets it to Stuart Reardon, and big tackle from Gareth Ellis. Gleeson at dummy half finds Pickersgill. As Warrington make another change, Andy Braycheck has done his spell, and it's Mike Cooper who's come on as John Clark puts the field down, kick downfield, and Richie Barnett is herring after this, but the ball is going to beat everybody and we'll come back for a 20-metre restart. Diskin gets us back underway and finds Scott Donald. Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield, and Sinfield bounces the first two challenges away, but not the third one. Burrow at dummy half looks for runners, has to stick hold to prevent the shepherd, and it's Lee Smith who's lurking in midfield. Webb at dummy half finds Jamie Thackeray, and Thackeray, good, strong, powerful run, but this tackling from the Warrington Wolves in this first 25 minutes has been really good, as Diskin finds Peacock, and Peacock looking to get the hands free, can't. And again, it's last tackle for the Rhinos, 35 away from the line as Diskin finds Maguire, and Maguire again goes high, looking to test Stuart Reardon, and Maguire and Reardon is safe under that, and Maguire tried to force him back into the in goal but just couldn't, and it's Martin Gleeson at dummy half. Good run from Martin Gleeson, gets the Wolves 13 away from their own line. Here's Henry Farfeely in off the wing, and again it's another good run. Gleeson at dummy half finds the new substitute Cooper, and Cooper eventually pushed back Jamie Thackeray, shot the line to put the big shoulder on and missed. Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark out for Wainwright. Wainwright's pass not the best on the half volley for Richie Barnett, and Barnett is scragged to the ground by Gareth Ellis. Last tackle for the Wolves, still deep inside their own half as Anderson puts the kick in downfield. It's going to bounce past Brent Webb, but he'll just stop it on the hand and pick up and tips it back for Scott Donald. Leeds looking to try and create something from deep as Donald runs into John Clark, but puts the leg drive on and gets back to halfway. Gibson at dummy half goes on his own and is taken by marker by Brent Gross. Lee Smith now looks up, takes it into the heart of the Warrington defence, and Leeds are now 35 away from the line. Kyle Luluai has sneaked on for Jamie Peacock as Burrow out for Maguire. Maguire with the step, and Maguire just can't get the hands free. Sinfield at dummy half finds Kylie Luluai. Here he is, gets to within 20 of the line. Can Leeds get a repeat set at least, as Burrow looking for options, dabs a little kick through, looking for somebody, and Richie Barnett's come up with it, and Gareth Ellis is trying to pick him up and get him back in the in goal. What's going to happen here? Still moving, and Leeds have forced a repeat set, and it's going to be a goal line dropout. Super defence from Gareth Ellis. It was off back of the initial kick of Rob Burrow, and Ellis showed great strength to pick Richie Barnett up and shove him back into the in goal. Warrington in no rush to get on with this goal line dropout. Here is John Clark. It's not the best, it's a bit of a daisy cutter, and Danny Maguire will trap on the foot and fail on the 30 and finds Kylie Luluai. Warrington fans looking for a knock on in that, but he trapped it on the foot, did Maguire. Here's Diskin, changes the attack for Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Diskin at dummy half, looking for runners, finds it out for Maguire, out for Webb. Super take from Webb, out for Gibson. Gibson gets it back for Maguire. It's going to open up for Maguire. Reardon just got the initial contact, and it was able to ball to ground. Thackeray from dummy half. Thackeray will go on his own, but four Warrington players are there to push him back. Maguire at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow going crossfield, still going crossfield for Senior on the bounce. Keith Senior up against Gleeson, pops it out for Donald. Donald will come infield, back for Webb. Webb fakes the run around with Donald and goes to ground on the 10-metre line. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Here's Sinfield. Sinfield out for Ellis. Ellis for the line. Ellis will score! Fifth tackle play for the Rhinos. 27 minutes on the clock, and it's Gareth Ellis who gets the try for the Rhinos. Kevin Sinfield, look for all the world he was going to put the little kick through. instead found Gareth Ellis with the pass, and he was able to sidestep Stuart Reardon and get him by the side of the post. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. He's right in front of the post. Sinfield kicks on its way, and the flags are up. 28 minutes on the clock here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. Engage Super League 12. We're at the round 10 stage. We're locked up at 6 points each.
Successful conversion for the Leeds Rhinos. Number 13, Kevin Sinfield, brings the Engage Super League score now to the Warrington Wolves 6, Leeds Rhinos 6.
And as John Clark gets us back underway, Anthony Jerram has come on for the Warrington Wolves to make his first team debut, and Leeds are messing about with this ball in the end goal, and Jamie Thackeray will field and runs back at Brent Gross. Smith at dummy half finds the try scorer Ellis. Diskin at dummy half finds Kylie Luluai. And Leeds are looking to make another change. Sinfield at dummy half will get out and kick. It's gone a little bit too high to cause any problems, and Reardon will field on the 30-metre line. Gareth Ellis is making his way to sideline, and Reardon's broken the first couple of challenges. Here's Stuart Reardon, gets away from Donald and gets away from Webb before he's brought to ground on the 20. Big chance here for the Wolves. Gleeson at dummy half tips it back in for Westwood. Here's Clark at dummy half, pops it back for Cooper. Gleeson at dummy half, out for the other Gleeson, and Maguire's going to put boots a ball. This is going to be a foot race, needs the bounce, he's got it. Maguire's got Donald on the inside and just can't get the ball out from the challenge of Henry Farfeely. Quick play the ball, Donald at dummy half finds Ian Kirk, who's just come onto the field. Kirk needs an offload, gets it back for Donald, out for Webb. Webb looks up and just can't get away. Here's a penalty though. Warrington rule, offside by Ben Thaler. Looking for an advantage. And what's the decision here? And Leeds are going to get on with it. Here's Kylie Luluai. Warrington weren't back the 10 there either. Diskin from dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow gets Webb coming in on the outside, out for Senior. Senior looks to get away from Farfeely, looks for the offload, gets it back to Jamie Jones Buchanan with the little kick, and is forced out by Vinnie Anderson. And Leeds will get a repeat set of 6, but Jamie Jones Buchanan there's kicked on the second tackle, and maybe Leeds could have kept the pressure building a little bit more on Warrington. But what a break from Danny Maguire before, and what a pity he couldn't find Scott Donald on his inside, because that would have been a certain 6 points.
Leeds Rhinos substitution, number 3, Clinton Tootley, replaces number 9, Matt Diskin.
And Clinton Tupy has come on for Matt Diskin. Here's the goal line dropout, fielded by Webb on the 40 and tips it back for Kylie Luluai. Good strong run from Kylie Luluai. Oh, what a run from the New Zealander. Play the ball is quick. Here's Burrow from dummy half, running crossfield, looking for runners. Burrow will straighten up, but he's put to ground 10 metres away from the line by Gleeson. Sinfield at dummy half finds Jamie Thackeray, and Thackeray will straighten up, looks to put the leg drive on, but he's going to be forced back and grounded 6 metres away from the line. Sinfield at dummy half finds Maguire. Maguire pops it up for Tupy, and Clinton Tupy scored for the Rhinos. He's only just come on, 33 minutes on the clock, and the New Zealand international gets the try for the Rhinos. And it's all come really off the back of the break from Danny Maguire, then forced the goal line dropout. Leeds got the field position, and it was Maguire who was the architect, puts Tupy in the clear, and he's able to reach out to ground the ball. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. And it's going to be a big confidence booster for Clinton Tupy. He's taken a lot of flack on the message boards this week, and the fans are singing his name. Are they never happy? Here's Sinfield with the conversion attempt, and the flags are up here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. 34 minutes on the clock. Engage Super League 12. We're at the round 10 stage. It's the Warrington Wolves 6, Leeds Rhinos 12.
Successful conversion for the Leeds Rhinos. Number 13, Kevin Sinfield brings the engaged Super League score out to the Warrington Wolves 6, Leeds Rhinos 12. Also, we have a substitution. Number 10, Paul Rauhihi replaces number 19, Steve Pickersgill.
And welcome back. Warrington are in no rush to take this kick-off. They've walked back. Paul Rauhihi has come back on for Steve Pickersgill. Let's see if Leeds can get this kick-off right this time. There's been a couple of dramas so far as Clark gets us underway. Again, it's the line drive kick. Where's the bounce? It's come off the hands of Webb, and he finds Jamie Thackeray, and he also has a little bit of a juggle. But Thackeray gets back to the 20-metre line. Sinfield at dummy half finds Ian Kirk. Sinfield again at dummy half. Out for Kylie Luluai. And Luluai, another good, powerful run from the New Zealander. Burrow at dummy half. Looks this near side, looks to step away from the markers, but he's wrapped up by Paul Rauhihi. Sinfield at dummy half will get out and put the kick onto the left boot. And Chris Riley's lost this in the sun. Tupy's lurking, but Chris Riley's done really well to get hold of that ball. And Warrington are down on their own line, and Reardon, he's given a penalty. Markers weren't square. Jamie Jones Buchanan and Clinton Tupy, and Warrington will get a chance to clear their lines. As Vinnie Anderson puts the ball into the tar park at Tesco's, which is situated the other side of the North Stand, as Westwood takes it in for the Wolves. Farfili at dummy half finds Cooper. Clark at dummy half finds Rauhihi, and Rauhihi gets over the halfway line. Clark at dummy half. Markers weren't in position. He's taking advantage of that and gets to just short of the 30-metre line. Wainwright at dummy half finds Farfili, who's moved infield. Here's Gleeson looking to get away from Maguire. Pops it back for Riley, and Riley gets away from the first challenge. Riley going crossfield, gets away from Ian Kirk and goes to the ground. 10 metres away from the line, 12 from the line. Last tackle for the Wolves. Here's Vinnie Anderson looking for the crossfield kick for Barnett. Back inside for Gross, and Gross has scored. Warrington are in. 37 minutes on the clock, and Brent Gross gets the try for the Warrington Wolves. All came from the last tackle play. It was the kick across from Vinnie Anderson. It was batted back in field by Richie Barnett, and Brent Gross was there to take the ball and fall over the line. And here is Ben Westwood with the conversion attempt, who was successful from more or less the opposite side of the pitch first time out. Here is Westwood, kicks on its way. This has got chances. It's not. It's just going to drift over the face of the post. So we're a couple of minutes out from half-time here in this Engage Super League 12 clash here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. It's the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 12.
It's now Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 12.
And as Kevin Sinfield gets his back underway, kick is high into the sun and fielded by Reardon on the goal, and he finds Paul Rauhihi. Chris Riley at dummy half, whose break was instrumental in the creation of that last try. Clark at dummy half finds Cooper. Clark again at dummy half finds Farfili in midfield, and Henry Farfili putting the steps on, putting the dummies on, but not getting out of the clutches of Keith Senior. Anderson at dummy half finds Rahihi again, but met by a good shoulder from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. And it's last tackle for the Wolves. They're on halfway, and John Clark will kick out of dummy half, and Lee Smith and Clinton Tupy will decide to between them who's going to get it, and it's Smith, and Smith's going cross-field and he's lost his footing, and Smith's now been picked up, and Smith has got away from the challenges. Lee Smith, super body strength from Lee Smith to get away there and get back to the 20-metre line. We're in injury time at the end of the first half. Rhinos still 2 points to the good. Sinfield at dummy half finds Tupy with a couple of steps, but gets brought to ground on the 40-metre line. Sinfield again at dummy half, has no support and flings it out for Senior, and Senior looking to straighten up, and Keith Senior's in the clear. He's got Maguire on the inside, and here's Danny Maguire for the line. Maguire's got it to Donald, and Scott Donald scored on the brink of half-time. Leeds have got their third try of the afternoon, and it was all down to the magic of the testimonial man Keith Senior. He breaks the Warrington line as Danny Maguire in support. Full credit to Vinnie Anderson for his efforts, but Scott Donald was on the inside to finish off the move for the Rhinos. And as Kevin Sinfield lines his kick up, the half-time hooter has already gone. This will be the last action of the half. He's 18 metres in on the northern side of the ground, Kevin Sinfield. This to extend the lead to 8 points. Here is Sinfield, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here. That's half-time at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. 3 tries for the Rhinos from Gareth Ellis, Clinton Tupy and Scott Donald. 3 goals off the boot of Kevin Sinfield. In reply for Warrington, a try for Brent Gross and a try and a goal for Ben Westwood. So that's it. Half-time here in this Engage Super League 12 match. We're at the round 10 stage. It's the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 18. Stick with us. We'll be back with the second half in a moment. And welcome back to the second half here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. Leeds 18 points to 10 in front at half-time. Other latest scores from Engage Super League: Bradford Bulls 18, Hull Kingston Rovers 10, and it's the Huddersfield Giants 18, Wigan Warriors 10. So it's everything's pretty symmetrical across Engage Super League at the moment. Leeds the only away team who are in front, and it is going to be they who will get the second half underway. As Kevin Sinfield gets the ball on the kicking tee. Ben Thaler blows time on, and we're underway for the second half. Kick from Sinfield is fielded by Farfili, and he tips it infield for Mike Cooper. And it's a good run from the youngster to start the second half off. Clark at dummy half finds Farfili infield. Ford didn't get the number. It looks like Ben Westwood underneath there. It's not. Here's Rahihi. It was Mike Wainwright, and Farfili's knocked that on, and Warrington have turned the ball over deep in their own half. It was an attempted offload from Paul Rahihi, and it was missed by Farfili, and Leeds have got a chance to extend their lead. Of course, they scored right on half-time when Danny Maguire turned down the opportunity to score himself to give Scott Donald the ball, who made the kick easier for Sinfield. Tupy from the base finds Maguire. Maguire pops it back for Senior, and Senior's in the clear. Senior for the line is away, and Leeds have scored on 2 straight sets, and it's the testimonial man Keith Senior who gets in. A minute on the watch in the second half, and Leeds make the Wolves pay immediately from the base of the scrum. It was all too simple. The ball went to Senior. Senior put the big fend on Vinnie Anderson and then pinned the ears back to get over the line for the 4th Rhinos try of the afternoon. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt for the Rhinos, just to the left of the post. Kicks on its way, no dramas. Flags are up here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. 2.5 minutes on the watch in the second half. Engage Super League 12 round 10. It's the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 24. And as John Clark is about to get us back underway, that's the measure of the man of Keith Senior. He made the error on Tuesday night. He made an error with his first touch today, but he's bounced back and he's shown what a true champion he is as Brent Webb's missed it. Jamie Thackeray will field on the goal line and has to get out and only gets 3 metres away from the line, and Thackeray being forced back, and Thackeray's in the field of play. Sinfield at dummy half finds Ian Kirk. It was a super chase from the Wolves, and Warrington again trying to gang up and get Leeds back behind that goal line. Sinfield at dummy half finds Clinton Tupy, who's playing in the loose forward role, pops it out for Luluai. Here's Burrow with a step and gets to the 10-metre line. Webb at dummy half was there, but Jamie Jones-Buchanan is the one who takes it. This is Brent Webb at dummy half, and he finds Kylie Luluai. Good strong run from Luluai, but Leeds will have to kick from deep inside their own half. Sinfield at dummy half will hammer the ball downfield. It's in the direction of Richie Barnett, and Barnett fields, and how good's the chase? It's not bad, and it's Ashley Gibson leading the way with Ian Kirk. Reardon at dummy half goes on his own. Farfili at dummy half finds Vinnie Anderson. Vinnie Anderson's dropped that. He's gone looking for the penalty as Vinnie Anderson. It was Jamie Thackeray who was in there, and Ben Thaler's having none of it, and he's given a knock on. A quick look over at a couple of people up here, and they've all said that he's dropped it. No kidding, Ben Thaler, who's had a good game. He's kept the whistle out of the mouth and let the players get on with it. He's took the conditions into account. He's just called time off because we've got no football at the moment, and maybe Keith Senior's licking his lips at having another go at Vinnie Anderson here, as Tupy from the base goes on his own. Sinfield at dummy half finds Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Sinfield at dummy half finds Burrow, misses Luluai for Maguire. Here's Brent Webb trying to get on the outside of Gross, and here's Ashley Gibson, and Gibson steps in field but just falls into the clutches of Richie Barnett. Maguire at dummy half finds Luluai to charge up into the line, pushes over Anthony Jerem as if he wasn't there. Here's Thackeray. Leeds are getting on a bit of a roll at the moment. Last tackle 10 metres away from the line. They're queuing up on this southern side of the ground. Here's Maguire with a little dab through for Burrow, and Burrow's got there first, and this is the 5th Rhinos try of the afternoon. 5 minutes on the clock, and it's Rob Burrow who's got the try for the Rhinos. It was a super set downfield, filled with pace and power from the Rhinos. They had numbers on this near side, but it was Danny Maguire with the little kick through, and it was the pocket rocket Rob Burrow to get the 5th Rhinos try of the afternoon. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt, just to the left-hand side of the post. Kicks on its way, and no dramas. Flags are up here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Engaged Super League 12. We're at the round 10 stage. It's the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 30. Is that Cullen in that box up there? And here is John Clark to get us back underway. Kick is high. Brent Webb will field on the 10 and finds Jamie Thackeray, who's come charging onto that ball. And in these 6 minutes in and around half-time, Leeds look to have just taken the game away from the Wolves at the moment, as Sinfield at dummy half finds Ian Kirk. Good, strong, powerful run from Ian Kirk. Gets to the 30-metre line. Sinfield at dummy half finds Burrow out for Maguire. Leeds showing the confidence to go from deep as Sinfield brushes Chris Riley off and then attempts to get through Vinnie Anderson, and Senior's lifted in the challenge by Ben Westwood. Webb at dummy half now looks for the short side but gets taken by the markers. Sinfield at dummy half finds Luluai, and Luluai looks to get the leg drive going, and Vinnie Anderson was nearly late there. Last tackle, Sinfield at dummy half, finds Maguire. It's been charged down by the youngster Anthony Jerram. He's put boot to ball 2 times and he's bombed it. No, he hasn't. He's got the ball back. It must have been ruled backwards, and Danny Maguire nearly held on for too long. Farfili at dummy half goes on his own. Henry Farfili is going to be ruled as held up. And Leeds now have got a chance to get the defence reorganised. It was super work from the youngster Anthony Jerram to clear, charge down the kick of Maguire, but Warrington 10 from the line with Clark. Clark out for Reardon, and Reardon will straighten up. But he's taken 10 metres away from the line. Clark at dummy half, flings it out for Vinnie Anderson. Anderson gets it out for Farfili, back for Vinnie Anderson. Warrington not wanting this ball to die. Out on that far side for Jerram. Here's Gross at dummy half for Richie Barnett for the line. Richie Barnett is going to be held up on the line. Last tackle for the Warrington Wolves. Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark. Clark dabs a little kick in, and Scott Donald there to save the danger for the Rhinos. Needs to get away from that end, and does, before he's met by a cruncher from Mike Cooper. Tupy at dummy half finds Ashley Gibson. Leeds making a couple of changes. Ian Kirk's gone off and Jamie Peacock's come on. Here's Thackeray, and Jamie Thackeray almost makes the break up the field. It was Gleeson who saved the day. Burrow from dummy half has lost the ball in a challenge, and this is going to be play on for Ben Westwood, and Westwood pops it out for Vinnie Anderson. Anderson looks to get in field, pops it out for Rahihi, and Rahihi is wrapped up. 0 tackle for the Wolves, 10 metres from the line. Gross at dummy half goes on his own, flips it out of the back door for Cooper, and Cooper gets a big hit from Gareth Ellis, and the ball's come out, and Leeds will survive and get a scrum. As Rob Burrow eventually feeds the scrum, Clinton Tupy from the base will just wrap things up and go to ground. Gibson at dummy half. Marcus didn't look square, but Ben Thaler says that's okay. Webb at dummy half finds Jamie Thackeray, and Thackeray looks to push the first challenge of Cooper away and gets to the 30-metre line. Sinfield at dummy half changes the direction and finds Peacock. Peacock still going, Jamie Peacock, good run. Sinfield at dummy half finds Tupy. Tupy out for Gibson, and Gibson immediately wrapped up by Richie Barnett. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Sinfield tries the short side, and Maguire, who kicks crossfield, aiming at Chris Riley. Riley, is he going to let the ball bounce? It's going to go over the dead ball line, and we'll come back for a restart on the 20-metre line. And Warrington can't get on with it because Henry Farfili hasn't made it back on side. Unfortunately, a lot of the people down below us don't appreciate that fact, as Clark finds Riley and cops a big strong shoulder from Kylie Luluai. Clark at dummy half finds Wainwright. Here is Clark at dummy half, out for Ben Westwood, back on the inside for Martin Gleeson. Gleeson has got up, he's lost that, Martin Gleeson, as Vinnie Anderson gets out a dummy half, and that's going to go out on the full, and Leeds will get a scrum back on the 40-metre line. And there's a bit of justice in there, because I'm sure Martin Gleeson did lose that ball getting to his feet. And it is in fact going to be a turnover. No, it's not. It's going to be a scrum. It wasn't the last tackle. It has to be a scrum. And Ben Thaler's just realised his mistake. Must have got the shout in the air from the match commissioner upstairs, and it's given the home fans something to shout about, Russ. as Rob Burrow feeds the scrum. Tupy from the base finds Maguire. Maguire looking to step his way through, but he's taken by Clark and Reardon, and Maguire still fighting and gets that extra metre or so. Webb at dummy half finds Jamie Peacock, and Peacock is wrestled to ground by 3 Warrington players. Sinfield at dummy half comes crossfield looking for the ball, goes on his own, Kevin Sinfield, but there was just no push through. It needed Rob Burrow or Danny Maguire on that shoulders. Thackeray charges out from dummy half, and Jamie Thackeray for the line will score! 44 minutes on the clock, and Jamie Thackeray gets out from dummy half and powers his way through the Warrington defence to get over under the post. That's surely the 2 points in the bag for the Rhinos. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion right on the black dot. This should again be no dramas, and kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Engage Super League 12. We're at the round 10 stage. It's the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 36. And welcome back as John Clark gets us back underway. Kick is short, and Brent Webb does really well to field that with the sun in his eyes and finds Kylie Luluai. Sinfield at dummy half finds Clinton Tupy. Clinton Tupy's played loose forward today, and he's looked a different player as Clinton Tupy today. More responsibility in midfield, and here's the last try scorer, Thackeray, and eager as ever is Jamie Thackeray to cart the ball up. Sinfield at dummy half finds Peacock, and Peacock trying to keep the legs pumping and get away from the 4 Warrington challengers. Sinfield at dummy half finds Burrow on the bounce. Burrow looks up, looks for options, looks for the step, and runs straight into Ben Westwood. Last tackle for the Wolves. Sinfield finds Webb, and Webb dabs a little kick in over the top. Where's it going to bounce? Nobody knows. It's going to bounce. Oh, and Stuart Reardon did really well, and what a hit from Kylie Luluai. Ouchie, felt that one. As Brent Gross gets into dummy half. Leeds looking to pick it up on defence. Here's Reardon, runs into Gareth Ellis. Gleeson at dummy half, going crossfield, and again Luluai with a good hit. Mark Gleeson at dummy half, looking for options, and it's one out football from the Wolves as they get to halfway. Ryan Bailey is looking to get back into the game, as well as Anderson at dummy half finds Clark, and it's Clark with the kick, looking to turn Lee Smith and trying to find the sideline. It is just about going to find the sideline, and we'll come back for a scrum on the 10 metre line. As Ryan Bailey has come onto the field for the try scorer, last try scorer, Jamie Thackeray. And Ben Thaler just insisting that the scrum takes place in the right place, and it's Tupy from the base finds Lee Smith, who's infield to help out. Webb at dummy half looks to go on his own, gets away from Gross before he's wrapped up by Andy Braycheck. Smith again at dummy half, doing the hard yards and giving the forwards a breather in these incredibly hot conditions, as Ian Kirk is about to come back on for Kylie Luluai as Ryan Bailey charges up into the Wolves defence. Sinfield at dummy half changes the direction for Peacock. Peacock looking to offload, still looking to offload, still looking to keep going, and it's strong, powerful running from Peacock. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Not the best pass for Burrow, out for Ellis, and Ellis will just hoof the ball downfield, and it's straight down the throat of Stuart Reardon. Is the chase good? It's not bad. It's Bailey and Kirk leading the way, and the Wolves will start 35 metres away from their own line. Barnett at dummy half goes on his own and comes to this near side. Gleeson at dummy half finds Braycheck, who gets the Wolves over halfway. Gleeson again at dummy half finds Gleeson, popped out of the back door, eventually into the hands of Braycheck, and there's a gap opened up for Andy Braycheck, and it was Danny Maguire who just ankle tapped the youngster. Gleeson at dummy half finds Anderson with the little kick through for Gross, and Brent Webb has, it looks like it's been grounded by Brent Webb, and Ben Thaler's ruled it's gone dead in goal, and Leeds can get on with it here. Chance for Leeds to get on with it, and Ben Thaler says yes, we'll go with Tupi. Sinfield at dummy half finds Senior looking to get on the outside, has found Donald down this near side, has Burrow on the inside. Oh, Rob Burrow has bombed the chance for the Rhinos, and it's been collected by Ben Harrison. It looked a forward pass anyway, but Leeds have bombed the chances. Anderson finds Westwood. Clark at dummy half. On the bounce, not the best pass. Braycheck forced to retreat and pick the ball up, and it's another good run from Andy Braycheck. Braycheck can get back to his feet. Wasn't tackled, and it's Lee Smith who's there to cover the danger. Matt Diskin has come back on for the Rhinos. It's don't know who's gone off though, as Kirk back on the inside. Brings Gleeson to ground. Here is Vinnie Anderson with the little chip over the clock. It's Anderson against Webb, and Webb needs to beat Vinnie Anderson, and does with consummate ease, and gets out of the in goal, and Brent Webb's away from 3 challenges, and that's good work from the New Zealand fullback. Diskin at dummy half. Cuts up the near side, just settles things down as he's back onto the pitch. Trying to see who's gone off for the Rhinos. Clinton Tupi is still out there, so not really sure. It could be Jamie Jones who's gone off, actually. It is. Sinfield at dummy half finds Burrow out for Clinton Tupi, and Tupi with the step. Tupi looking for the offload, but just can't get the ball away. Burrow at dummy half finds Ian Kirk, and Kirk lifted in the challenge and driven into the ground just short of halfway. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield, and Sinfield almost cops a late one from Rahihi, and Chris Riley will field on the 10-metre line, and looks up, looks in field. How good's the chase? It's good, and it's Bailey and Diskin leading the way. Reardon at dummy half finds Richie Barnett, and Barnett being pushed back in the tackle. Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark. Good short pass for Duram. Gleeson again at dummy half finds brother Martin. Gleeson again finds Wainwright. Wainwright with the long pass out for Westwood. Westwood gets away from Senior, but not second time. Ball's come out, and Scott Donald will recover it, and that's going to be given as play on. Senior at dummy half finds Clinton Tupi. Tupi looking to take the Wolves defence on his own, and nearly had the offload for Scott Donald. Diskin at dummy half finds Bailey out for Ellis. Ellis looking to turn, looking to get the ball away, but decides to stick hold. Centre field just short of the Warrington 20. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow out for Bailey on the loop round the back. And Leeds 12 away from the line with Burrow. Burrow looks to go on his own, pops it back for Tupi. Tupi dabs a little kick through, and Chris Riley needs to get out of there and doesn't. And Leeds will get a repeat set, and it was good work from Clinton Tupi. And maybe Ben Thaler might just call a drinks break here, as lots of Warrington trainers come on. And this goal line dropout. We've got nobody to take the goal line dropout at the moment. And Ben Thaler does eventually call time off. It's Vinnie Anderson who's got the ball in his hand. And here is Anderson, time back on. It's not a bad hoof from Anderson, fielded by Sinfield, and he tips it back for Ian Kirk, who Kirk winds up, but it's a good low tackle from Mark Gleeson. Disking at dummy half, finds Peacock, and again the shouts are forward from down below us. Disking at dummy half, finds Burrow, out for Sinfield. Sinfield looks to put the dummy on. It's Danny Maguire who's gone off. Just realised. Here's Webb at dummy half, finds Ellis, out for Bailey. Bailey up against Clark, and Bailey's got away, but eventually wrestled to ground by Clark and Brent Gross. Disking at dummy half, looking for the runners, looking for Webb, and Brent Webb's gone in for the Rhinos. 25 minutes on the clock in the second half. All too simple in the end. It was Ryan Bailey's run who set the position up. It was disking from dummy half, and Brent Webb comes steaming on like a train to get the ball and get over for the try. And as Kevin Sinfield lines his kick up, some of the locals have seen enough, and they're heading for the exit gates. Here is Sinfield, just to the right of the post, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Engage Super League 12 round 10. We've got 14 minutes left. It's the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 42.
Successful conversion for the Leeds Rhinos, number 13, Kevin Sinfield, takes the Engage Super League score now to the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 42. Leeds Rhinos substitution, number 6,
And as John Clark gets us back underway, Brent Webb has gone for a breather, and Danny Maguire has come back on, and it's fielded in the in goal by Ryan Bailey, and Bailey looks up, winds up and runs at Ben Harrison. Disking at dummy half, finds Gareth Ellis. Ellis pops a super ball out. Here's disking back for Sinfield on the inside. Disking at dummy half, finds Maguire, out for Peacock. Peacock with the long ball for Gibson, and Gibson cuts in field, and Ashley Gibson's made the break, and they're queuing up here. Matt Diskin, it's Matt Diskin for the line. Oh, and Chris Riley's done really well. That's going to be play on. Zero tackle for the Rhinos. Chris Riley has saved the try for the moment. Here's Maguire out for Ellis. Ellis just can't get the ball away. That's a good tackle. Ball's come out, and it's Danny Maguire who's gone in. Didn't see how the ball's come out, and Danny Maguire scored. 68 minutes on the clock. It was Gibson with the initial break. Chris Riley almost intercepted, but Leeds got a second set of 6. And somehow the ball comes out from Gareth Ellis, and Maguire picks up and just runs the ball in over the line. And the Warrington Wolves public have seen enough there, streaming out of the Halliwell Jones Stadium at the moment. It's reminiscent of what we saw at the JJB on Good Friday, which was superbly captured by our friends at Sky, as Kevin Sinfield lines up this conversion attempt. And here's Sinfield with the kick. Oh, he's pulled it, Kevin Sinfield. His first miss of the afternoon. Ironic jeers from the Leeds fans behind the post. But with 12 minutes left in this Engage Super League 12 round 10 match, it's the Warrington Wolves 10, Leeds Rhinos 46. And as John Clark gets us back underway, what Warrington fans are left down below us are making an absolute cacophony of noise as Ian Kirk drives it back in. Sinfield at dummy half finds Jamie Jones Buchanan, and Jamie Jones Buchanan lifted up and dumped to the ground. Diskin at dummy half finds Ryan Bailey, and Bailey's away from the first challenge, can't get away from the second one. Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire back on the inside for Peacock. Peacock fighting to get the arms free. Can he get the offload? No, but goes to ground on halfway. Diskin at dummy half finds Burrow back for Jamie Jones Buchanan, and Jamie Jones gets through, almost gets the hands free. Diskin at dummy half finds Maguire. Maguire's long ball out for Gibson. Gibson comes back infield. Gibson finds Bailey. Bailey looked to kick and finds Jamie Jones. Here's Sinfield out for Senior. Senior dabs a little kick in over the top. Scott Donald's after this, and Stuart Reardon has done really well to take that and save the day for the Warrington Wolves. Gleeson at dummy half finds Chris Riley. Gleeson again at dummy half finds the youngster. That's Ben Harrison. Mark Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark out for Gross, and Gross gets away from the first challenge but not from the second, and Ashley Gibson's a little slow to his feet. Clark at dummy half. Warrington trying to attack the gap through Vinnie Anderson. Anderson's popped it out and did really well to hang on to that. Spun out for Gleeson. Gleeson looking for options, has popped it back out. Good enterprising players. Wainwright is now wrapped up by Senior. Last tackle for the Wolves, just short of halfway as Gleeson finds Clark, and Clark goes high and cross field and looking to test Danny Maguire, who's now playing at fullback. He's let it bounce, but it's gone straight to Scott Donald, who's got away from Riley, and Scott Donald winding it up, but eventually he's just pulled to ground by Ben Westwood. Burrow at dummy half. Not the best play of the ball from Scott Donald, and again it's incurred the wrath of the locals. Diskin at dummy half finds Sinfield. Sinfield putting the kick through for Lee Smith to chase it. Smith against Reardon. This needs to sit up, and it has done. And can Smith get Reardon? No. Good work from Stuart Reardon, and Reardon gets back out to 15 metres away from his line, and Kevin Sinfield screaming for a knock on us. Richie Barnett goes cross field, and Barnett has popped it out for Cooper. Gleeson at dummy half finds Ben Westwood. Westwood out for Gleeson to John Clark. Clark with the dummy back for Cooper, as Ben Harrison is going to take a breather for the Warrington Wolves. Gleeson at dummy half has no options. He's running crossfield, pops it out for Wainwright, back for Martin Gleeson, and Martin Gleeson gets it to Cooper. A lot of fancy stuff with the ball from Warrington, but they're not really going forwards. Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark out for Anderson. Here's Rauhihi for Gross, out for Richie Barnett. Richie Barnett straightens up. Pastor Gross is an absolute country mile forward. That wasn't even close. That wasn't close. It's a good call from Ben Thaler. As much as it's been greeted with howls of derisions from the locals down below us, it was a mile forward. And with just over 5 minutes left here, can Leeds break the 40-point barrier, or the 50-point barrier even, as Senior takes it in for the Rhinos, pops it out the back door for Rob Burrow. That's going to be play on. Diskin at dummy half finds Ryan Bailey, and Bailey being driven back by Paul Rahihi. Diskin at dummy half finds Clinton Toopy. Toopy with the dummy, and Clinton Toopy almost getting in the clear. Diskin at dummy half finds Jamie Thackeray on the charge, and Jamie Thackeray's got Maguire. Maguire puts the kick over the top, foot race with Burrow. Burrow's been taken out by Riley, but he's still got the ball, and Leeds have hit 50. 4.5 minutes left on the clock. A second try of the afternoon for Rob Burrow, all coming from the magic of Danny Maguire. It was Maguire with the little chip over the top. Rob Burrow got boots a ball. Chris Riley looked to pull Rob Burrow back, but he escaped from the clutches to touch the ball down. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. Kicks on its way. Flags are up here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. Engaged Super League 12. We're at the round 10 stage. Leeds have gone through the 50-point barrier. It's the Wolves 10, the Rhinos 52. And welcome back. Ben Taylor's actually called time off this time. He's got fed up with Warrington walking back as John Clark gets his underway kick is high. Everybody's looked at each other, and the bounce of the ball is going to be everybody, and it's going to be a goal line dropout and maybe a chance for Warrington to get some consolation out of the afternoon. And now it's Leeds who aren't in any rush. And here is Sinfield with the goal line dropout. Ben Westwood has got the locals man of the match. Ball's bouncing away from Braycheck. Oh yeah, Jamie Thackeray with a big hit. As Clark at dummy half finds Rauhihi. And Paul Rauhihi's getting plenty of boost from the home fans, as well as Gleeson at dummy half finds Wainwright out for Vinnie Anderson. Here's Gleeson. Gleeson with a couple of dummies, and Gleeson can't escape the attentions of Keith Senior. Gleeson at dummy half finds Anderson. Anderson with a dummy for the line, and Vinnie Anderson is going to be held up by Ryan Bailey. Mark Gleeson at dummy half finds Clark. Clark out and for the corner. Oh, and it's been put down. The original pass was from Braycheck, but Richie Barnett just couldn't take the flick on from Brent Gross, and the ball will go over sideline. Well, they're getting belted by 52 points to 10, but these fans down below us are a credit to their club. Since Leeds went in, they've not stopped singing and shouting. And maybe have Leeds got anything up the sleeve to go into double figures for tries? 9 at the moment. As Burrow from the base finds Gibson, and Gibson looks to put the step on. Burrow at dummy half finds Jamie Jones Buchanan. He will just settle things down and get to the 20. Burrow at dummy half finds Jamie Thackeray, and Thackeray looking to fight out of the challenge, but eventually Rauhihi's there to wrap up the prop forward, and Gleeson's copped one in there. He's copped something straight, disking from dummy half, tips it back for Sinfield. Sinfield with the little dummy out the back door for Thackeray. Clinton Tupy's got the hand up, and Tupy gets round Barnett. Tupy through two to Maguire. There's a huge gap there for Maguire, but Ben Westwood is there to close the danger, and he's had the ball stolen one-on-one by Ben Westwood. It's then been knocked on by Anthony Duran from the pass. And what's Ben Thaler going to give here? It's going to be a Warrington knock-on, and Leeds will get head and feed. We're in injury time here at the end of the game, as Ben Thaler stops the clock. There goes the final hooter, and that's it. Full time here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. The Leeds Rhinos 52 points to 10 victors. Tries for Warrington from Brent Gross and Ben Westwood, and a goal for Ben Westwood. Leeds tries shared about pretty much evenly. Brent Webb, Scott Donald, Keith Senior, Danny Maguire, Gareth Ellis, Jamie Thackeray, Clinton Tupy and 2 for Rob Burrow. 8 from 9 off the boot of Kevin Sinfield, and Leeds are convincing victors. Coming up next, St Helens at Headingley Carnegie Stadium on Saturday. That's going to be a huge clash. We'll be there to bring you that. From me, Matthew Horton, and your pictures provided by Russell Callaghan. It's thank you and good afternoon.